When you think of Costa Rica, you picture lush, vibrant forests, toucans, sloths, cascading waterfalls, peace. But to my family, we remember it better as that one place we almost died, as a family.
We wanted to try to do something that would be fun and have as an activity for the whole family to do.
I would talk to people and find out what they liked about a trip to Costa Rica. And people would say, oh, you know, you gotta go zip lining. And I would say, oh, actually, it's the one thing we're not going to do because we had a friend who was in a horrible accident.
And basically just pulverized their whole leg and hip. We were like, well, that's not a good thing. We want to avoid that.
So then we were out there, we said, hey, there's river rafting. River rafting's really popular. I grew up in Alaska, so I had done a ton of river rafting in my life. So to me, it was like a great opportunity for the family to try river rafting together.
So let's drown instead of fall.
I forgot that Costa Rica is literally a rainforest, which means it literally rains a lot. And everything that, when they say it's mellow, that's mellow for people who live in a rainforest, not mellow for people who live in a state where there's a drought.
You know, you get set up in your vests and you get your paddle and you meet your guide.
And he talked a lot and was quite friendly, but talked about his like family and personal life instead of the safety of river rafting.
I don't recall any comments about safety or the rapid class going up or any concerns at that point before we got in the boat. The first concerning thing was rather impressive.
We went like maybe around a corner and then we see everyone pulling over, so we all pull over.
We had barely gone anywhere in less than a couple minutes of rafting, and there was already a horrendous injury. And so all of the boats off to the side are saying, what do we do? You know, mostly we're just worried about her. So all these guides are focused on getting her out. There's an ambulance coming through the jungle to get her off the boat. She's clearly completely incapacitated and really injured, and they managed to get her out. And so then we're all sitting there being good tourists, and we're like, so what do we do now? Do we keep going? We didn't really think very hard. We're already on the boat in the river, so we just go.
I don't know if I was like, oh no, we shouldn't do this. I was like, oh, how unfortunate for her. I was young.
How unfortunate, let's go rafting.
Yeah, let's go, you know, nothing will happen, you know.
We got in and it was very fast.
And there were a lot of rocks and like our family couldn't go straight.
I sort of forgot that all together, that's a lot of weight. So once it starts drifting in one direction, it takes a lot of effort to get us away from this thing.
We were starting to like struggle to push off of stuff.
I have never worked out so hard just trying to get that going. The river was moving so fast that you would get, if you got your oar in at a weird angle, it would just get kicked out of your hands. We lost oars like crazy.
Oh my God, we lost our paddles.
At a certain point, it was literally just me and our guide trying to get us away from stuff. We started drifting towards this very, very large rock.
As we're going, we're suddenly turning sideways, and then we're turning really sideways, and there's a giant rock under our boat.
It was like a slow motion when people would like replay things. That's what it felt like.
And when we hit it, the river was moving so fast that it started to go up.
And lifting up like this, and then
Raft flipped.
That was one of the most terrifying experiences of my whole life.
the entire boat has flipped, and I am under the boat. Under the boat, in the water, and my first instinct was, where's my baby?
Then I remember Mom like yelling, "Lulu, are you okay?"
And I reach out and I grab and I get this little face up out of the water, and I've got her life vest and her face, and I've got her up out of the water, and I'm looking at her, and we're under a boat, totally dark, bunch of water, and she just has this look on her face like, and she's crying, and I'm like, Lulu, I've got you, Lulu, I've got you. And then I grab her and I pull her under the boat edge, and we get out from under the boat.
I don't entirely remember it all too well, but I got launched.
Like at some point, my lizard brain just was like, oh, I'm about to die, so I need to do what I've been told to do, and just peacefully drift down the river.
The boat's upside down. Our guide is right there. He's holding on to the boat. I've got Leanne holding on to one side of the boat, and so she's our eldest. She's holding on to one side of the boat. Quinlan is down at the other end of the boat, but he's got a rope in his hand. He's holding him to the edge of the boat. And then I've got Dad floating down the river on his back, tucked up with his like little feet in the air. And as he's going by, the guy is like, Papa, Papa. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, Quinn, grab dad, he's going by.
You reached out and you grabbed me as I'm like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
So now we suddenly are all attached to the boat, going down, but we're all alive. Everybody's out.
But she single-handedly saved your guys' life, especially Lulu's life.
Who did I save?
Exactly.
I saved nobody. I saved not even myself. I was gonna save myself, but no, I didn't save myself. I was drowning.
They take these nice touristy photos as you're going down the river. They have photographers throughout the river. There's these nice happy photos of us paddling, you know, we're having so much fun. And then there's photos where there aren't any oars and we're all in shock.
These photos of us were of abject terror. Like, and there's one moment where literally you look straight into the camera like, oh. I don't think that I've ever seen you guys as scared as I saw you in those pictures afterwards. Which makes them like, that's the reason why we use them on our Christmas card. Then when we were drifting down the river afterwards, like we saw people who were doing the floating down the river thing for fun. And you guys were like hey, this.
I was like, why would you jump in? It's cold.
One family is all wet and we're like, oh, did you flip? Like, no, our guide thought it was funny to throw us in. So we had a little swim, ha ha ha. And they're like, what about you? Did they throw you in? Like, oh no, we almost died.
We would see these people and they were like, oh, I think we found your oars.
We get down the river and we get to this spot where all these boats have like pulled off. They're having this nice like watermelon pineapple picnic.
And you guys were like, I don't even want to have food. I don't even have anything. I'm gonna get out of here.
It was funny because instead of being stuck in the horror of what we'd gone through, our response was, well, now we can pretty much do anything.
I remember going back to like the villa we were staying in, and then Mom and Dad were like,
I think we should go ziplining. I think we should go horseback riding on a cliffy trail. I think we can do whatever we want.
And it was a blast. Like, that was super fun.
A fantastic speedy ride through the jungle. We went on a Tarzan swing where you had to climb all the way up these steps to the tippy top of this thing while you're sitting on a swing and like jump off and swing. And woo! It was a really interesting thing because I don't think anyone in our family ever wants to raft again.
So 6 years later, you ever want to go river rafting again?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
I will never raft again, I think.
Do I wish that we had never done it? Yes. I wish that we had never done it because I think it scarred Lulu and Leanne like for life, which is definitely the last thing that you want to have as an activity that you planned as a parent.
Are you happy you had the experience of this story?
Honestly, yes. It's one of the things that teaches me that my life is precious. There aren't many of those things in the world, so I try to hang on to those.
It also taught us to embrace things, try things, live life. I think that, so turns out ziplining is a lot of fun and random stuff does happen. Honestly, it made everything in Costa Rica even more vibrant. The food tasted better, the leaves were greener, the monkeys were cuter, the sloths were slower. It was really beautiful.
I'm happy I have a story that's a near-death experience, I would say, because it's funny to, flex that I survived a thing. Besides a pandemic, I survived another thing.